Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, December 19th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, Tesley, Cony, NVDY, Misty, and AMZY. So, who had trades yesterday? NVDY had a trade, AMZY had a trade, Cony had a lot of trades, and Misty had a trade, decent amount of trades. So, we will start with our favorite NVDY. What the heck did they do? So again, if you're trying to access these same trades, what you do, you go to the YieldMax website, you go under covered call ETFs, which is on the top. You choose any of the ETFs, and then you scroll down to the intraday trade button. You click it, which you should click it typically after 4:30 or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the markets, close for about an hour or so. And you're able to pull that information, which when you pull it under any of the ETFs, it should pull all of the trades for all of the funds that were made for that day. But you'll know if it's updated simply by looking at the date. So obviously 12/18 was yesterday. So when I pulled it, I saw 12/18. I said, okay, I can start moving here. But yeah, anyway, moving on. So, NVDY. So what do they got? They got any BCs buy to close? Yes, they do on the bottom. So they did a buy to close of 135, and they opened 140 for next week. We'll take a look and see what that looks like. And then they did a buy, call, sell, put at the top. So they added 3,300 contracts to the synthetic position. And, oddly enough, they added it to the high synthetic position. But again, we'll take a look at that. But all right, let's get to it. All right, first we'll pull up NVDY. So NVDY, they now have three synthetic positions. They have a 148, a 138, and a 127, okay? So why would they have three synthetics? Well, basically, they were adding other ones that were closer to the money, right? So when they open a synthetic or typically add to a synthetic, they want the price to be close to or at the money, right? So they added to the 148, right? NVIDIA is showing to be at 128.91. Now, let's take a look. How much did it cost? Well, they did get a massive credit, right? 12/18, they added 3,300 stocks, so 3,300 contracts. So I'm wondering, I don't know what the price of NVIDIA was at the time, but I mean, 120. They closed at 128, right? They closed at 128. They have a 127. Obviously, when you look at those two, okay, they should have added to the 127. But even so, if they were up a little, maybe they should add it to 138. They added to 148. Again, I don't know where they were at the time they added to the synthetic. But, based on looking at how much they got, it's probably obviously closer to the 138, 127 area than the 148. But either way, whatever, doesn't make sense. Some of this doesn't make sense, but they added to it. They got a credit. How much did they get? They got a credit of about 3.4 million or so. And this synthetic expires in 65 days on February 21st, 2025. All right, so that's that synthetic. The other synthetics were untouched. The synthetic 138 holds 36,850 contracts, and the synthetic 127 holds 33,000 contracts. All right, so they're just chilling, hanging out. They're not getting any love. All right, so how did NVIDIA do yesterday? Well, I'm sure you all saw the Fed announced an interest rate cut, and then I think they announced, or they changed their mind about 2025, about, I think they planned 4 rate cuts, and then they said maybe we're going to only do 2. How the hell do they even know? It's just like, you're just disrupting the market here. I swear it's just for their fun and entertainment, right? But whatever. We'll play the game too. We'll enjoy it. But anyway, here it is. NVIDIA went down Look at these numbers. These look funky. How is that even? Yeah, something's wrong here. All right, so what is that? +1. Who's messing with my sheet? Okay. +1 again. All right, sorry guys, let me fix this. 1218, 1218. Okay, that's more like it. What a freaking mess. What the hell happened? How the hell did I get +1 there? How about here? And there's no, okay. All right, sorry. Again, when you have this many cells, this many spreadsheets, this many tabs, things are going to happen. But as long as I catch it, all good. All right, NVIDIA went down 1.14% yesterday. NVDY went down 0.93% yesterday. And I was in the office, so I wasn't able to, unfortunately, capitalize on, the downward trend. But since NVIDIA only went down about 1.14%, my guess is they were up pretty decent for the day. I was not able to see, but whatever is what it is. All right, so now this is interesting or awful, depending on how you look at it. So they closed out 52,018 contracts, right? They had a 135 call. Look how much they paid. They paid 234, right? They lost. So they closed it out early for a loss. And look at NVIDIA. They closed at 128. All right, 2 questions. Number 1, why are you closing out early for a loss? Number 2, well, it's not even a question. This just the timing is just horrible, right? Because we saw what happened. Were they thinking that once the Fed announced everything was going to skyrocket, so they should close out some of the contracts now and maybe not be as painful, right? I don't know, but I thought they're not here to time the market, right? So I don't know. This is bad move. Too soon. That's all I'm going to say. Too soon. They took the hit. They took the loss, and now NVIDIA is under, or they were under. Who knows what's going to happen today. They were under the strike price. Now we have 2 trading days left. So again, there's time value in there. I understand that. I just don't know, number 1, why they closed it early. Number 2, what they thought of the Fed. So in the end, they lost about 3.3 million or so on that transaction. Pretty unnecessary, honestly. But it is what it is. And then they added, okay, so the 52,018, this is the new position. Let's take a look at the expiration date for next week. Well, yeah, that one does expire next week, 12/27. It's a 140 strike price. It's 8.6% out of the money, which that's not bad. That's not terrible. They have a call credit spread, $7 away, 14% away, and that's actually not terrible either. The IV, let's see what they're annualizing here. About 41%. Their IV's at 48, so that's okay. So the new trade, again, how's it gonna go? Who the hell knows? But looking at right now, it looks okay. But again, they probably opened it much tighter. This is just after the dip, because obviously they closed the old and opened the new earlier in the day when NVIDIA was a little higher. So I don't think, this was their plan to be 8.6% out of the money. All right, so the other one, 3,300 contracts, they went the other way. They said, let's sell it for Friday. So if you look, that has an expiration date of 12/20. They chose a strike price of 138, and they bought a call at 141. Nice little gap there, $3 gap. I don't think they needed to buy the call with 2 days, but yeah, we'll see. I kind of like that play. Do one for this week, one for next week. The annualized yield, probably need to update that to get the blue, because it's within the same week. Give me a second here. Very hard to properly highlight what I need to. There you go. So What am I doing here? I'll explain in a second. So when we do the annualized yield, how do you calculate it, right? That's the question that no one asked. But basically, I have a couple fields here. There's the yield that each fund makes on the trade each day, and then I calculate that based on a daily yield, which it takes the expiration date minus the actual trade date. So if that date does not include a weekend, then I can't annualize it including weekends. I have to annualize it simply based on the number of trading days. If an expiration date goes through and across weekends, then I can use the normal annualized yield, which is 365, right? I'd use 365 days. And that's how I calculate annualized yield. Is that the right method? I have no freaking idea. That's just what I use. So again, sometimes I like to explain that in case you guys were wondering how that's done. All right, so outstanding shares, if we look at 12/18, 600,000 additional outstanding shares, and that makes sense because obviously they added 3,300 contracts to the fund. All right, so let's go to the recap. 30-day IV, 48.29%. Outstanding shares, 60.6 mil. Net income, yeah, they were shrinking that, but they kind of, they took a loss yesterday, unnecessary. So now they're at a loss of 3.3 mil. So, yeah. Sorry, guy, but NVDY fund manager, too soon, buddy. Too soon. What were you thinking? Don't time the market. We can't do that. Nobody can. All right. Well, maybe government can because they know what's going to happen, but we can't, right? We're not privy to that information. So if you mess around, that's what happens. Group B, they declare in 14 days on January 2nd, 2025. All right. So if we go to payment information, we're in the cycle for the third payment of the 4 weeks, or at least for the fiscal year. I'm not sure if this is the actual third of the 4 week, but either way, there's no money, right? Synthetic loss, 62 mil, short call loss, 3.3 mil. So no money to speak of, but we will look at the IV estimate. Oh man, I did lunges the other day. My legs are killing me. And I'm sitting on a rock hard chair in the garage. I know that's out of nowhere, but had to explain that as I moan and groan. Anyway, 48% IV would pay a 91-cent distribution for NVDY. Their prior payment was $1.18. All right, holding information. What do we got going here? Right now, if we take a look at the $83 million. That's the 148, right? And then we got 18 mil. That's on the buy call. So what does that mean? You take my money. I forget the words, honestly. And to take my money when I'm in need, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger. Way over time. That ain't gonna be. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. But why do we call them gold digger? Because a synthetic position is a buy call and a sell put. We always want to see the call value greater than the put. That means the price of the underlying should be above the strike price of the synthetic strike. But when it gets completely, when the price of the underlying goes way under the strike of the synthetic, like in this example, we have a 148 synthetic, that put, look how much it costs. It costs $83 million to close because NVIDIA is way under 148, right? And what does that mean? The buy call, it's not worth that much either, right? It's only worth 18 mil. So I always say in orange is the dude, in pink is the girl. So the girl be taking our money, right? Because they're, the higher the, the negative number on the put, we're losing money. So since, she's a girl, she's a gold digger, right? She's taking more money than the man even has. So that is the point, if that makes sense for reference. Anyway, obviously you see in between, we got a couple calls for this week in yellow. You see column D, and then a couple calls for next week. We'll see how this plays out. We got 2 trading days. This has been a long ass week. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but man, I should have taken at least a day off or 2 this week. But it's always before the holiday. I feel like it's always a struggle. But anyway, enough about that. This fund is worth $1.3 billion. The NAV is $22.56, and the trade price is $22.49. All right, so that's for NVDY. Let's move on to the next one. AMZY had a trade. We'll do that last. Cony had a trade. We'll do that last too. And of course, Misty had a trade. We'll do that right now. All right, so Misty had a trade BC buy to close 330. All right, so they closed out the 330 contracts at 460, and they opened new for next week. Okay, so we'll take a look and see what that looks like. And then for down below, BC buy to close, they closed out the 430 on the larger position, 25,745 contracts, and they opened a new one for next week. If you look in the middle, you don't see any P's, you just see C's. What does that mean? That means they're just closing the weeklies, right? If you see a P, they're involving the synthetic. If there's no P, then it's just involving the weeklies. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet. Okay, here we go. Get out of here. Here we go. All right, so they have a synthetic 315. We said they didn't add to it. They didn't touch it. They didn't remove from it. So they're just sitting here with the 41,315 contracts. Right now, MSTR is only 11% above that price because, you know, yesterday after the announcement, I mean, the entire market went down. I'm not sure if anything was green, but crypto took a really big hit because I think, you know, Jerome Powell said that it's not, maybe, I don't know, them holding Bitcoin is not as easy as they thought, or it's not allowed, something along those lines. And I think that's why crypto took the biggest, I don't know about the biggest dive, but a big dive yesterday. So I know people were yelling and screaming, Misty sucks, or YieldMax sucks, or these funds suck. I got a couple comments about that. But guys, you know, you do know the market does go down at times. I know we're in a bullish market. The market's been pretty good overall as of late. So we've all been winning. We all look like geniuses, right? But the market's going to go down. We're going to have days like that. But instead of, you know, whimpering and crying when we have days like that, hopefully you have cash aside, and that's when you can capitalize, you know, and buy on this quick dip. Like yesterday, that could be a one and done, right? We could, you know, I didn't look at the pre-market yet, but it could be a quick flip, right? It could be a quick flip of money, or it can continue to today, and then we get another opportunity to buy, or even into, you know, Friday. But whenever the Santa Claus rally comes, is it next week? Is it the week after? Who the hell knows? That could flip it the other way, and then we can make some money. I don't know. But again, this is the stock market. That's the risk. Things go up, things go down. All right, I'm not here to tell you that, but I had to kind of talk about that because people were getting freaking out. All right, anyway. So yesterday, MSTR went down. It went down a lot, actually. It went down 9.52%. MSTY went down 7.88%. So, you know, obviously they both went down a decent amount. Misty much less, obviously, because we're in a covered call ETF. All right, so let's take a look at the trades. We said all the trades they did, it was for, you know, the calls. So we want to talk about those. So what they close out? They closed out the 430 and they closed out the 460. Let's just double check. They closed out the 460. Yep. All right, so we talked. Let's do the 330 first. 330 contracts had a 460 strike price. Obviously, let's see MSTR. MSTR is at, oh my God, 349. I don't know what the price was at the time, but they closed it for 49 cents, which means it's a win. So they closed it out with a win. They sold the call, you know, the other part of the call credit spread But, obviously they didn't make that much on it. But overall, it was a successful win. It was a net profit, and that's what matters. Now, the larger closeout was the 430. You'll see this separated into 8 different lines because, there's 2 lines for the call credit spread each, and there's 4 different contracts that total the number of contracts that they closed. But long story short, they paid 62 cents to close the 430 strike. That's a win, all right? And then they made 37 cents on the buy call, so they sold it back, and they got 37 cents. But overall, nice profit, right? Overall, 9 million, right? 12 million, going down here, which is the 430. Another 600,000, and then another 5 mil. So pretty good day for MSTY. Obviously, the down market helps to win covered calls. So they could have closed all of them probably, but they decided to close some. And obviously, they do have some more expiring this week. So let's go through what is left. All right, so I'm just going to go top to bottom. I'm not going to go lowest to highest. 500 contracts, 425 strike price. That is now 21% out of the money. So with 2 trading days, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I don't know about you. All right, and the next one is a 10,000 contract holding, 417.50 strike price. That is 19% out of the money. Again, with 2 trading days, how you feeling? Pretty good, right? But we know MSTR is nuts, The next position, 420, 3,760 contracts at 420. I mean, that's 20% out of the money. We likey a lot. And then we got down here, 1,980 contracts, 412.50 strike price. Looks to be the lowest one, 17.98% out of the money. Even the lowest one looks pretty good. So I think we're in a good spot heading into the remainder of the week. But again, MSTR took a dive yesterday, so the recovery is sometimes even better than the dive, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Here's the new positions for next week. Again, next week, 12/27. Next week, we don't have a full week. Obviously, the market will be closed on Christmas and probably a half day on Christmas Eve. Haven't even checked. But here we go. 330 contracts, 385 strike price. Oh, yeah. And then the 25,745 contracts, same thing, 385 strike price. That is opening at 10.11% out of the money. Not a big fan of that, especially based on the dip. And this actually could have been a little less out of the money. You don't know when they opened it, right? Because MSTR could have gone down after the fact. But not a big fan of that trade right there. Yes, they have a call credit spread, if you're wondering. The gap is pretty damn wide. It's not $100, but it's close enough to it to complain. All right, outstanding shares. It did increase by 1.1 mil. So the recap for MSTY is MSTR has a 30-day IV of 105%. Their outstanding share number is 47.7 mil. The total net income from the weeklies, actually, I need to... this is a new month, so this gets added. Yeah, we're on payment 3, so I just got to make sure this is picking up column Z. Let's see, income. Yeah, it's not picking up. It's got to pick up column Z. Because we're past payment 2. We're now in the new cycle. Wow. Close to the same amount. Wow. Okay. Well, whatever. Column Z. Yep. About 20 mil. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So, basically, because I count declaration date. Since they declare the distribution in the morning, the income that they make that day, I count towards the next cycle. Because they didn't know what they were going to make today, right? They didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm not counting that money towards whatever they declared previously, right? Makes sense? All right, hopefully it does. But anyway, so far for this new cycle, they're up 20.9 mil thanks to, the solid wins. And obviously they opened new positions, which made more options premium. But anyway, they're at 29.9 mil. Distribution comes to 44 cents. Daily income, 2 cents a day. Daily yield, actually, this should be much better. How is this divided by, yeah, I got to update this too. Man, I'm slacking. Sorry, guys. This should be 1 for 1 day. Now we're talking. There we go. Because we got 1 day, right? We made 44 cents per share in 1 day. So obviously our daily income is 0.44 in 1 day, which makes our daily yield 1.31%. And if you annualize that sucker, that's 479%. So not bad. All right. So this emoji was for the market yesterday because, again, I know there's a lot of people freaking out. Hopefully people didn't sell. Hopefully they just closed. Guys, sometimes when the market does that, the best thing to do is stop looking at your phone, close your laptop, turn off your computer, whatever you're using, just come back the next day, right? If you're not brave enough, obviously, to buy on the discount, because, again, it's hard to time the discount too, so I get that. But, the market did freak out because it's been a while since we had a dip. We're due for a couple more, obviously. But the Fed, they change their mind. What can you say? They do that. We know they do that. So it's always a toss-up. But anyway, Group D, they will declare again on January 15th in 27 days. So they did declare yesterday. So for the second payment, overall, the income per share they made this go round is none, essentially. They actually lost $1.63, but they ended up declaring $3.08. That's a decrease from last month for sure. But that total distribution, it cost them 147 mil, right? At least based on my calculation. So today, you should see the cash go down by that amount. And then, obviously, since they didn't make any money, we have to calculate what the debit carry forward is, which means, obviously, there's no income, right? It was a loss. So you count the entire distribution and then whatever they lost in income. So now we have a debit carry forward. The month prior, we had a credit carry forward, and this debit carry forward exceeded that credit carry forward. But again, we know we have a synthetic in our back pocket, which lately it's not looking that great because the market tanked, but it is what it is. All right, so now we'll talk about the new cycle. The new cycle, we have 20.9 million in short call income. Synthetic was untouched, as we saw. And we mentioned this came to 44 cents per share. So if we run that into the Rotometer, we get some ridiculous number. Because again, at a 478% yield, that's a $12.32 payment, right? Does that make sense? Let's see. Weeklies times reaction number. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, obviously that's not realistic, guys, because we only had 1 day and they made a really good trade in 1 day. So they're not gonna make that type of money every single day. Sorry to tell you. Now, if we look at the holdings, no gold digger here. Their synthetic still looks good. They got trades for this week. They got trades for next week. But, we'll see how that plays out. We still have 2 trading days left, unfortunately, because that means we have 2 days to freaking work. Synthetic bailout money is worth about 155 mil, but the value of this fund is $1.4 billion. The NAV is 30.28. Trade price is 33.52. If you look at the gap in the closing price from yesterday and the NAV reflecting as of today, you could see the change, which is 324, obviously, plus or minus some fluctuation. It's basically the drop in the distribution. So yeah, the fund is going to drop today. Today is ex-dividend date, so beware. I know there's a lot of newbies too. So yes, on ex-dividend date, the fund will drop by the amount of the distribution. Why does it drop the amount of the distribution? Because they have to pay us. Remember, they make money throughout the month in options premium. That money goes to cash. That money is used for options. That money makes more money. But then when it comes time to pay us, that money has to come from cash. So that's why the net asset value will drop for these funds, because they have to pay us. I know people ask that. That's why I'm covering it. So hopefully that made sense. All right, so that's Misty. This is turning into a very long video. Tesley did not have a trade, but they do have a 480 synthetic, right? The 295 has been long gone. This is the new synthetic. Now, the timing of opening the synthetic, not that good, right? Because obviously Tesla, they want those low interest rates. But so Tesla took a dive, but Tesla's been up and up and up and up. So there's no surprise, right? That some bad news happens and then Tesla tanks. But anyway, this synthetic is a 480. Tesla's at 440, so they're 8.3% underwater already. But that expires on 221. So plenty of time to have fun and dance. All right. Yesterday, how did the day end? Tesla went down 8.28%. TSLY went down 7.4%. So yeah, not a pretty day. Now let's take a look at where we stand for the week. Oh man, who's off today? Anyone? All right, what the heck? I should have highlighted that top part gray. All right, so all eggs in one basket. Shocker, unfortunately. 26,000 contracts, approximately 505 strike price. It's now 14.74% out of the money. But guys, this expires next week. It's not Friday, so there's still a ways. But obviously, we're in a much better position than where we were yesterday because I thought they were way too tight. So that drop actually kind of helped our covered call strikes. As far as outstanding shares, they basically got back what dropped the other day, right? The other day, 3.3 mil left. And then yesterday, 3.3 mil came back. So people left and then came back on declaration date to, I don't know. I know it wasn't declaration date for Tesla. So yeah, I really don't know. Maybe YieldMax or one of those other funds is having a reallocation or whatever. Anyway, 30-day IV. Wow. 30-day IV of Tesla. Well, that's because of the freaking crazy-ass market yesterday. Is 71% IV. Obviously pretty good. Outstanding shares, 69.6 mil. Total net income, no. It's a loss. Tesley has lost $134 million on trading weekly options. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. I would say so. Yeah, emoji down. Because that's what happened. Down, down, down. But whatever. Group A declares in 7 days. They declare next week on December 26th. So I will make that video Sunday morning. All right. How much money are they making? Well, I don't know if you forgot, but they made a lot of money on that synthetic. 529 mil. Deduct out the disaster from the weeklies. They made 395 mil in net income. Income per share. That comes to $5.68. But again, what are they going to pay? Who the heck knows? They paid $1.22 last time. So it'll probably be more than that. Based on the IV, though, of 72%, that would be a 99-cent payment. So at the low, 99 cents. At the high, 5.68. But of course, 5.68, not realistic. And I think I said it yesterday too. $2 is probably the highest range you would get at a Tesley dividend. I don't think they even need to pay that. They would be just fine paying, mid-dollar, $1.50, $1.40, something like that. But again, I don't know. I'll make an estimate Sunday for fun and entertainment, of course. Borderline gold digger status after that big drop. So don't worry, I will not sing this song twice. We got the calls. Again, they're just chilling for next week. We'll see how this all plays out. The value of this fund is $1.1 billion. The NAV is $16.59 and the trade price is $16.65. All right, so that's Tesley. Now we can move on to Cony, AMZY, whatever. But they both had trades, right? So let's go back. All right, first AMZY, what the heck did they do? BC, buy to close. They closed a call that expired this week. It was a 235 strike. They paid 23 cents. What does that tell you? That tells you they won. Good job, AMZY. You did it. They sold the call that they had for the other part of the credit call spread. They made 4 cents per share on that, which, okay, we don't care. Now, they sold a call for next week, or should we say a call credit spread, right? They chose a 230 strike, so obviously they rolled that strike down. They made 215 credit per share, and then they bought a call at 237.50, okay? So if you look at the gap from last week, it was a 750 gap. The new gap is still 750, so they're being consistent with their call credit spread gap, if that matters to anyone. All right, so let's move on to the spreadsheet. How did Amazon do after that disaster yesterday? It went down 4.82%. AMZY went down 4.27%. So yeah, rough day for them as well, but not nearly as bad as some of these others. Now their synthetic still holding strong. Amazon is at 220.52. AMZY's at 210. So right now they're 4.77% above. The Amazon price is that much above the synthetic strike, which is awesome. And then we see the new calls for next week. Obviously, yes, they expire next week. Let's look at the expiration date. We see 12/27. Yup, check. So we have 11,035 contracts, 230 strike price, 4.3% out of the money. And then we saw they bought a call, right? 237.50. That's 7.7% away from helping. The value of this fund is 239 mil. The NAV is 1884. The trade price is 1969. The big gap is for their distribution, because again, they did declare yesterday, obviously. If you're wondering what they paid, give me a second. So we go to the weeklies, 3 actual. AMZY paid 86 cents, which actually ends up being a 56% yield. Misty's, by the way, was 119% yield. So any other notables, I made a quick video yesterday. I could pin that to the comments if anyone cares. I know I did it late. Unfortunately, I was working, right? So it is what it is. All right, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. So obviously with an 85-cent drop, that's because of ex-dividend date. 30-day IV of Amazon is 30.47%. So even that looks a little better. IV estimate based on that. Next payment, 46 cents approximately. Yeah, we need more than that, right? Next declaration is 23 days away. 23. Why the hell? It should be 24 plus 20, plus 28, not 24. There you go. Okay. So next declaration date should be January 15th, which is 27 days away. All right, that makes sense. We saw Cony's trades. I'm not going through them. I'm sorry. I'm not. But we will see what happened. My guess is, based on how the market went yesterday, they probably won a whole bunch of trades. Actually, I'm sorry. I'll go back. I'll be nice. All right. Blah. Real quick, I'm just going through the BCs. BC buy to close 21 cents. That's a win. BC buy to close 32 cents. That's a win. BC buy to close 74 cents. That's a win. BC buy to close 34 cents. That's a win. BC buy to close 46 cents. That's a win. BC buy to close 40 cents. That's a win. So yeah, they closed out their positions and they won them all. All right. All I see is C's. So everything here is closing the weeklies for 12.20 and probably opening new ones for 12.27. I don't know if they did all of them, but we'll take a look at the holdings to see. All right. So coin went down 11.36%. Cony went down 10.87%. So obviously, yeah, crypto took a crap. I mean, there's no hiding that. Coin is now at 279, which is under both synthetic positions. Unfortunately, we have a high 320. That's now going to cost us 209 mil. We have the buy call down here. That's only worth 84 mil. You take my money. That's all I'll do. Don't worry. 2 gold diggers in one video. Oh, man. So, yeah, these synthetics, they're not in a good spot. But they got plenty of time. Hopefully things recover. Now, let's take a look at the expiration dates here. Yeah, they got some 1220s. Actually, I did not do the proper highlighting of these. Obviously, in light blue, I typically do the buy call, but we did squeeze. There is a buy call in there, the 360. That's the only one expiring this week, so we'll cover that one first. It expires tomorrow. 3,900 contracts, 322.50 strike price, 15.24% out of the money. I think that one should be okay, but again, we got 2 trading days. We'll see what happens. All right, now we'll cover everything else. Everything else expires next week, so let's see the new positions that they opened. 2,600 contracts, $300 strike price, 7.2% out of the money. 19,076 contracts, 302.50 strike price, 8.09% out of the money. 10,389 contracts, 307.50 strike price, 9.88% out of the money. 4,615 contracts, 320 strike price, 14.34% out of the money. I mean, are any of these safe? No, of course not. We know coin, and it can destroy, blow through these strikes. But they did a call credit spread on all of these. The lowest call that they did buy is a 330, and that's 17.92% away. So they have quite a gap, but not terrible. So it could actually help them next week if coin decides to moon, but we'll see. Call credit synthetic, we know that sucks, but we'll just look at the value of the fund. 1.1 billion. The NAV is 14.31. Trade price 14.26. 5-cent gap. Who cares? 30-day IV of coin is 77%. IV estimate based on that 85 cents. And Group C declares in 20 days on January 8th. All right, so that's the update for all the funds. Obviously, that's data overload. I know it is. Believe me, I'm feeling it right now. So right now, what we'll do is we'll go to the pre-market, and we'll see where we stand, because yesterday the sell-off was, it was painful. It was painful. So hopefully today we're green. Let's take a look. So I use marketwatch.com. Why do I use them? I don't know. I just like it. It's a smooth website. It lets you create like a watch list, and you don't even have to sign on. Unfortunately, like to view articles, it always makes you sign up to pay, right? I don't do the articles. I just do for the viewing of the price. All right. So anyway, this is as of 5:09 a.m. I'm making really good time today because I got up at 3:30 a.m. Figured I'd get a head start in the day. But it is a late night, baseball night. So yeah, I'll be paying for this later. Tesla is up 2.86%. It's at 452.72. TSLY is up 2.31%. It's at 1704. NVDY is up 2.4%. It's at 132. Are we going to be all green? NVIDIA is up 2.09%. It's at 2296. Coin is up 3.48%. It's at 289.61. Cony is up 3.82%. It's at 1481. MSTR is up 4.67%. It's at 365.96. MSTY, they are up. They're showing up. Yesterday's close was 30.44. So even with the drop in the distribution, are they up? I don't know. They're showing up 3.39%. They're at 31.47. TSLY is up 5.31%. They're at 35.33. TNA is up 1.44%. They're at 43 bucks. They're in my territory, by the way. So I am now comfortable selling puts on TNA. I could do a $42 put. And guess what? If it gets assigned, great. If not, so be it. But unfortunately, I am involved with 3 different ETFs. I'm currently selling puts on Mara and calls. I'm selling puts on Soxal and calls. And then I'm selling puts on MSTU. So yeah, I'm getting kind of hammered on MSTU right now, but it's okay. AMZY is up 0.8%. It's at 1012. AMZY is up 0.59%. It's at 1894. Bitcoin is up 1.08%. It's at 101,723. BitX is up 1.96%. It's at 6308. Soxal, of course, Soxal's, you're the only one down. They're down 1.44%. They're at 2743. I'm not sure why they're down out of everyone. Super Microcomputer, they are up 1.4%. They're at 3268. SMCY is up 3.88%. They're at 27.70. Plater is up 2.55%. They're at 73.33. Platy is up 2.88%. They're at 69.19. TSM is up 0.9%. They're at 197.32. TSMY is up 1% at 19.84. And then lastly, Mara is up 2.96%. They're at 22.25. I think my call that expires tomorrow is $26. Will that be safe? Who knows? Who cares, right? All right, guys, that was a lot. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we'll try again tomorrow. Outside of that, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. Unfortunately, I think we fell short on the 1,000 likes for yesterday, but it's all good. We came pretty damn close. I think we were close to 900 last time I checked. So thank you. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. That being said, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look up the lyrics. What does it say? All through the town, something like that. So yeah, there's my song for the day. Sorry, not much there. I know. Sorry. I'll get more cheery tomorrow. But outside of that, I got nothing. And people always ask, "Where's the water bottle?" There it is. I know people love the water bottle sound effect. They love the sniffing. They love the sneezing and the coughing. They love it. I'm kidding. Anyway, we're at the end of the video. I just want to say, guys, I do appreciate you watching. I do appreciate you actually going through the whole video. And that being said, if you made it this far in the video, and you want to prove it, you gotta say the key word. What is the key word? Well, no, we could say thank you, Jerome. Thank you for yesterday. So because I guess we all deserve that, right? So thank you, Jerome, for making such a great stock market closeout for yesterday. So today's keyword, if you made it this far in the video and you would like to prove it to me and others that are looking at the comments, such as maybe Mr. J, right? Then you have to type in, thank you, Jerome. Thank you for that wonderful news for 2025. And I know it's not just him. Yes, obviously, there's a group of people. Guys, I get it. You got to blame someone, though. So if he wants to speak, we blame him. So today's keyword is thank you, Jerome, or JP, or I don't know. Call him whatever you want. Anyway, I'm out of here. Let me post this and start working and begin the day. But thank you for watching. Have a great day and later.